In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your front brakes on your Chevy Cruze. They're located behind the front wheels. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to remove our hubcap and lug nuts. Once they're loose, you can remove your hubcap. I'm using a 19mm socket, and we're going to remove the lug nuts. Remove your wheel. Before removing anything, we're going to take off the bleeder screw cap, and we're going to make sure that that's freed up for when we compress our caliper and install the new pads. Using a 10mm line wrench, you're going to break it free. And now that we know it can be broken free, we're going to tighten it a tiny bit. We're not going to snug it down though. Next, we're going to use a 14mm socket and a screwdriver or a 17mm thin wrench. I'm just going to use the screwdriver, and I'm going to keep this part still while I undo the bolt. Do the same on the top. And remove your bolts. Now you can remove your caliper. You may need a pry bar. And you can hang your caliper up on your strut. I'm going to hang it up over here. Try not to kink your hose. Now we're going to compress our caliper. I have my tool inside. There's many different types of tools, but you just want to push this piston in. You're going to loosen up your bleeder screw. Make sure you have a drip pan below or something to catch the fluid. And you're just going to compress it back. You should see fluid come out. If there's no fluid that's coming out, you have a problem. Once that's in all the way, we're going to close our bleeder screw down and remove our tool. Now we're going to take our pads out. Just make a note of where your wear indicator is. Ours is on the top and on the inside. I'm using a screwdriver to get it free. You can take these out now while everything's still, if yours are stuck like ours, or you can wait till after when you're cleaning out the bracket. I'm going to take mine out now. Using a 21mm thin-walled socket. We're going to need a thin-walled socket to get past this strut bolt here. And a swivel. I'm going to remove these two bolts. Make sure you have a good hand on the bracket. Remove the bolt and the bracket. Sometimes there's a screw here, or there should be a screw here. Just remove that first, and then your rotor will become free. And remove it. Now you're going to clean your hub. Use a wire brush. After you clean that up, you're going to put some anti-seize on the hub. Just spread it around. Now you're going to put your rotor on, make sure your screw is lined up. Or your screw, the hole for the screw is lined up if you don't have a screw. I'm going to put a lug nut on to hold it on since I don't have a screw. And that'll make it easier when you put your caliper on and all that. Now we're going to clean our bracket and our slides. I'm going to start with the slides. I'm going to pull these out. I'm going to wipe off the old stuff. Make sure they're clean. You definitely want to clean in this area with your wire brush. Do the same on the top. We're going to free it up, pull it out, wipe it down. I'm going to remove this from the caliper bracket. I'm going to remove that on both. Now we're going to clean this out. I'm using a wire brush on my drill. Once you clean that out, you can use a rag to wipe off any excess. Put some silicone paste in there. I'm just going to push it through using my slide. I'm going to put some silicone paste in here. And I'm going to do the same with the slide. This time I'm going to make sure I get it in the grooves. Now we're going to put these back in. Do the same on the other one. Now we're going to put our pins in. I'm going to get that rubber boot on. Pick up that lip a little bit to get the air out, if there is any. If there is, you'll see it come out. Pull it away and see if it goes back in. If it does, then you got the air out. Do the same on the bottom. Now we're going to take off the rust in here and clean it out. I'm going to start with a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, just to get in the grooves. Now I'm going to use my wire brush. Once you're done, wipe it down. And now we're going to put our tins on. Make sure they're seated on there good so you can get your pads on without any issues. Let's install our bracket. Slide it on. I'm going to start with my top one first. Let's snug these up and torque them to 111 foot-pounds. Let's put our pads in. The one with the wear indicator is on the top and in the back. All right, that one's in. Let's do the other one. Put it in the same way, only you don't have that indicator in your way. Should go in much easier. Now we're going to unhook our caliper from our hanger and slide it onto the pads. Once you get that on, you're going to put your bolts in. We're going to snug these up and torque them to 21 foot-pounds. Let's snug these up and torque them to 21 foot-pounds. I'm using my screwdriver to hold it still so it doesn't spin. You can use your wrench if you have one that's thin. Otherwise, this works fine. Make sure your bleeder screw is tight and put the cap on. Make sure you check your master cylinder and top it off if needed. Remove your lug nut. And remove your hanger. Put your wheel on. Start your lug nuts by hand. Now you can tighten them in a crisscross manner. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to torque our wheels to 100 foot-pounds. We're going to do that in a star-like pattern. Now we're going to put our hubcap on. Make sure you line your valve stem up. And your lug nuts. And then just tighten them down by hand.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.